What's going on, everybody? K to the 2 here with our PPL Division 2 Week 5 bet. Look, it looks a lot different. I understand. It's just we had some technical difficulties. We are going up against Jim and his Pinecobh Ramblers, and this is what we get for our battle. I will explain a little bit more exactly what is happening. But, like, I lost power and the game was pretty much already over. I lost power for 2 seconds out of nowhere. There was no way I could have predicted it. We were so far in the game, it was already over. And we just settled on a score, but now we don't have a video because Nintendo is fucking stupid and doesn't allow us to have a recording of our thing. We aren't allowed to save it. Even though our internet runs out. So this is what we have now. So we are going to be doing a thing. I guess I can talk about my team and Jim's team real quick. Also, on top of that, if you guys want to know exactly what I'm bringing, make sure to check the link down below to my team builder. It will go over exactly what I'm bringing, why I'm bringing it, all the sets, all the spreads, all the things you need to know. And looking at his team, it's pretty much what I expected. No Mega Stoys is pretty good for my team because that could be a huge annoyance. However, he did bring the Drapion, which means T-Spikes aren't going to be as good. Besides that, pretty much everything that I expected. Got to be careful about sub-Zygarde, sub-Jirachi, stuff like that. So that's what I'm looking out for, mainly from the team that he brought. And before I get into how we're doing this battle, I am going to introduce Potato Jim because he is here with me to do this pretty live recording.
Hi, by the way, my audience, you just got fucking bamboozled, mate, because, fun fact, during the battle, it nearly was finished, and then Kyle's house decided to be a complete shitbag, and then just all the power went off, the internet went off, everything got disconnected. So not only did he disconnect from the internet, making me think that I did it accidentally. So I was like worried maybe I looked like I forfeited like a prick. What actually happened was he disconnected, so the replay wasn't saved, and this was like a 40+ match or 40+ turn match, which meant that we couldn't even recreate it on Showdown, especially because, spoiler alert, hacks happened. So we're going to just do this in the shittest way we possibly could outside of using sock puppets, which, by the way, I actually nearly did. Anyway, hello, Kyle's audience. We're both recording this video at the same time, but they're different videos because...
yeah. Make sure to go check out his side if you want to know his intro.
You check out Kyle's channel because you're just going to get better League content because like, he's better at this shit than I am.
But as what we're doing right now, it's going to be the same exact video from here on out. It's like, there's no point in me telling you to go check out Jim's side for the battle, because this is the battle. This is it. We're both here.
Yeah. Yeah, we're basically just going to do like as much as we can, like a talking turn-by-turn sort of thing. If that's not your thing, I completely understand, but all I'm saying is, if you dislike this video because of that, you're well in your rights to do that, but I'm just saying it means you agree with Game Freak on not allowing us to save replays after the game disconnects. So, you do you, boo. So what we're going to do is, we're literally going to just talk over every single turn that happened to the best of our memory. It was a bit of a long game. Some hacks did happen, but I'm going to just briefly go over my end of the thing, because Kyle brought nearly everything I expected, as we said in the team building section. I did expect Hydreigon. I knew Keldeo and Victini were going to be there. I knew Toxapex was going to be there. I didn't think Blissey was going to come. I was surprised that Stunfisk didn't come. I didn't really expect Cleffy. So this meant that the only thing really we had to... Also, my dog barks, by the way. Sorry about that, Kyle's audience. I have a dog that barks. Can't stop it. And just... fucking hate everything about this. I hate everything about this. Anyway, so spooky stuff. Basically, set up rocks, set up light screen, get Blaziken and sub, do a +1 with the Swords Dance, kill Toxapex, go from there. That was the game plan. Right, so Kyle let's go over what happened.
Let's go over what happened. So, starting out, we are going to take a look at team preview. We are selecting our mons, and we're going to go over our thoughts as to why we decided to lead with what we did. So, Jim, go ahead and talk about what you were thinking, why you led with what you did, and then I'll get into why I did my thing.
Yep. All right. Immediately, I just thought, Miltank.
All right, that's a good lead.
That's it.
Okay.
Just straight away, just Miltank. I want the option to get up rocks. Most of the stuff he brings out against me, Miltank can live pretty much any one hit from. Rocks are good, and also the temptation to just body slam is also there. If he leads with Victini, if he leads with Keldeo, best he can do is just either like just about 2-hit KO me. That's about it. So I thought the easiest lead in the world I had against him was Miltank.
Okay, and
So
I decided to lead with Keldeo because Keldeo matched up well against everything besides pretty much Sylveon, and Sylveon I had 3 things to switch into it, so I wasn't really that afraid of it. I could lead off against a potential lead Blaziken, lead Jirachi, lead Zygarde, lead Miltank, and do massive damage to all of them, potentially get a burn on a forced switch. I knew that Sylveon was like his only thing that could actually switch into Keldeo, so I could gauge damage on that, see what kind of set he was if he decided to switch. So I decided to lead with Keldeo. There we go. Oh, no, get back up there. This is how we're doing it, by the way. I am going to be highlighting the mon that I am in with. He's going to be highlighting the one that he is in with. And
we're so sorry that it has to be this way, but what other alternatives do you want other than the sock puppet show? Which I'm sorry, I'm just one man. I can't physically do it.
We don't have enough time.
Or socks.
I mean,
different
right.
colored socks.
Yeah. Okay. So turn 1. Yeah. It is my Keldeo against your Miltank. I decided to go ahead and click Scald. If he decided to stay in, I figured he was just going to go for rocks, and I could see if he wanted to switch into Sylveon, I could see damage on that, and then I could be good to go from there. So I just went ahead and clicked Scald.
And it did about roughly just shy of about 50% damage. I could tell straight away from A, the damage, and B, the fact that he took Life Orb damage that he was. Crazy thought. Life Orbed. I did not go for the Stealth Rocks turn 1. I decided I was kind of hoping he'd not go for the Water attack, even though it was absolutely a safe play to do so. I just had the temptation to just click Body Slam turn 1 and hopefully get a power. It was just a bit too great. So I did that, did a little bit of damage, did about something like 30-ish% to the Keldeo, and I still had the safest switch in the next turn into Sylveon anyway, because it could take any hit, even a Hydro Pump, which is in fact what happened. So we're going on to turn 2 now.
Yep, turn 2. I saw at the end of turn 1 that his Miltank did not show an item, so I was heavily expecting the Choppleberry. So I didn't want to click Secret Sword. Instead, I had a guaranteed Oko with Hydro Pump because Scald did just about 40%. Hydro Pump does way more than that. So I decided to just click Hydro Pump. It would kill the Miltank, and I knew he wasn't going to stay in. It would do as much damage as it could to Sylveon. If it was a Fizz-Def set, it would have died to 2 Life Orb Hydro Pumps. But as the damage showed, as he switched into Sylveon, it did about 35%, which is not a lot at all, especially considering it is a Life Orb Keldeo. And then we also saw no leftovers, and that was the end of turn 2. Moving on to turn 3, Jim, what were you thinking?
I basically just thought that while I could wish, I wouldn't really gain that much from it, other than not a dead Miltank, but I didn't really... I wasn't sure if he was going to stay in and go for some kind of random coverage move. I didn't really think he'd bother wasting his time. So while expecting him to switch to Victini, I thought this would be the opportune moment to just set up the light screen. Under the pretense that this was a specially offensive, I mean mixed but specially offensive Victini nonetheless, I was fully expecting this thing to be Blue Flare over V-Create because I thought, well, okay, he has a Miltank and he has a Drapion. Let's not use V-Create so he doesn't get a free kill every time with Drapion.
And so what I did on this turn as he set up the light screen is I switched into Victini. So now we have Victini against Sylveon turn 4.
Yes, we're on turn 4 now. The Sylveon is about at 60% HP. He also notices that I did not get any lefties recovery, so I am profoundly light clay.
Yep.
and I don't really have much else to do here other than just try and fire up a wish. I could have switched into Miltank, but I didn't particularly want to because I didn't really want him to. I didn't want to just do it just yet.
And right here, what I was thinking is that I knew he was more specially defensive from the Hydro Pump damage onto Sylveon earlier. I could kill with V-Create, so I was just like, you know what, let's do that. He might not expect me to have V-Create, and, well, he didn't. So Victini ended up getting a kill right off the bat, and Sylveon went down.
Yep. Which is pretty upsetting, but no, it was very upsetting only because I was just wrong about him bringing V-Create. I was just 100% convinced that he was not going to bring it. So I just thought, right, well, I'm going to go into Drapion now, and I'm just going to threaten him out, even though I don't have Pursuit. And I was thinking, right, he's either going to expect Pursuit and stay in, so it does less damage, or he will switch out and just kind of risk the biscuit. Regardless, turns out I did not have Pursuit, so I just went for the knockoff, because I didn't really quite think he'd switch straight into Keldeo, despite the fact that I could potentially just be clicking knockoff instead of Pursuit, so I just thought, fuck, I'm just going to click knockoff and just make him lose an item. Ha! That's my revenge! Should have brought Pursuit.
So what I was thinking here is, because I was at -1 defense and a minus defense nature as well, I was thinking, hey, if this has Pursuit, my Victini's gone anyway, so I just need to switch, and, like, knockoff is probably his best play, because if I do stay in with him expecting a 50-50 out of this play,
you're dead.
From my point of view, I would be dead. And then I still have Klefki in the back. Like I said in my my team builder, I don't mind this thing getting knocked off because it was my best thing on my team in order to take on Drapion, and I can set up a spike forcing him out unless he has EQ, but like I could have Magnet Rise, something like that. So what I end up doing is I switch straight into Klefki, as he does not have Pursuit, or at least didn't show it this turn, and I am in with my Klefki, take the knockoff, take 30 damage, not 30%, 30 hit points.
Health.
Yep.
Not a lot, yeah.
And
which didn't really matter, because I really just wanted to just knock off the item rather than just do damage, because it wasn't really going to be damaging anything else anyway.
Yep.
But there you go.
So in comes Klefki. It is now Klefki against Drapion. I didn't see an item on Drapion, so I obviously know it's not Life Orb. I know it's not Choice Banded, because you can't get that little damage with a Choice Band set. Possibly Scarfed. Not quite sure there yet. However, this turn I just decided to set up a spike. And Jim, what did you do?
I can't remember.
You went straight into Blaziken.
Oh, yes, this is where I thought, right, well, I'm pretty sure I have as good a chance as any now to just do the meme I wanted to do. I was pretty concerned about him having Thunderwave, but a little part of me was thinking probably won't have Thunderwave because I have a Zygarde. But at the same time, I'm already kind of in the back foot, so I might as well just use the opportunity now while I have it. So I switched into Blaziken, and the objective here was to scare him out with the threat of having a fire move, baiting in the Toxapex, as I've been planning for like literally a week, and setting up the sub, and then getting the SD off. So that's what the plan is now.
Yep, and at this point, I know that I have gotten my spike up, so that's like what I needed Klefki to do. But the late screen is up, so I won't be doing a whole lot of damage anyway. So Toxapex 100% is my play, because I brought it for Blaziken. The thought crossed my mind that he could be SD with Groundium Z. So like that would completely ruin Toxapex. But as long as the Blaziken is there without a substitute in front of it, then I can come and revenge it with pretty much anything on my team. So like what happens is...
Not Serena.
Not Serena, you're right. You are right. Okay. So I went into Toxapex. I have Liquidation on it, and the light screen is still up from the Sylveon from earlier. So I won't be affected by that. So Liquidation will be doing as much damage as possible against the Blaziken, which is a 2-hit KO, surprisingly enough, from a Toxapex. So what happened is, as I went into Toxapex, you went for the substitute, which immediately got me thinking, oh shit, I don't want him to baton pass this into something, because that could be a thing that he does, because I know he likes his memes.
That was me doing a gesture. Yes, so the plan was I have the Ground DMZ with EQ. I didn't have any Fire Stab because, like, I don't want to cut. Well, I mean, like, the HJK still kills Sarita anyway, and the Sarita can't even break my sub if it's Fizz Def, so whatever. So the plan here is now the Toxapex is here, let's go for the Sword Stance, and he'll break our sub, and then kind of, like, nothing will happen, so everything's fine, and that's what we do.
Yep, so one turn passes, I break his sub with the Liquidation as he goes for Sword Stance, and I'm sitting here thinking, well, if he is Baton Pass, this is kind of a 50-50 on whether or not I go for Ice Beam, expecting Zygarde to come in, or Liquidation, expecting him to set up another sub, expecting my Ice Beam. So I'm not even going to show Ice Beam until I absolutely have to. So I'm just going to keep clicking Liquidation. It's going to be stronger anyway, with the light screen still up. So I don't want this thing having a sub, and that's pretty much all I'm thinking at this point, is just don't let this thing have a sub.
This is where Jim begins to fuck up, because I was kind of overthinking. My thought process was I could go for the Ground DMZ right now, but I could potentially be wasting that in case he decides to switch into Hydreigon, because he knows I'm not going to click a Fighting Stab or Fire Stab on this thing right now. I was also, because I did not set up the rocks, I did not end up getting to see this thing with its item, which ended up being Black Sludge. I was under this presumption the entire time when team building it was going to be Shuka because I have a Zygarde. So I sub again.
So at the end of the turn, it ends up being Substitute for Blaziken, Liquidation for Toxapex. We are back at the same turn, except Blaziken just has 25% less health. And again, I'm sitting here thinking the same exact thought process. Like, I don't want this Blaziken getting a sub. I'm just going to click Liquidation. Light Screen is still up. This is the last turn of Light Screen. So Ice Beam is not a play that I can even go for just as of yet. So again, just clicking Liquidation.
And the next turn is literally the exact same thing happening again. Because I'm just like, all right, okay, after this third substitute, he will now expect me to go for the Z move if I have it. So if he is going to go for, if he is expecting me to go for the Z move, he's going to switch into Hydreigon. I cannot really justify why I did this. I was overthinking. This is where Jim really just began to fuck everything up. It is absolutely guaranteed that a +2 Continental Crush or Tectonic Rage, whichever one it is, Z Earthquake, would absolutely blow the Toxapex back. I should have obviously killed it there and then, but I don't. So we go for the substitute 3 times in a row, and it's broken 3 times in a row. And then moving on to the next turn, this is where I decide, all right, I'm going to make the unnecessarily big boy play and go for the high jump kick in case now he wants to switch to the Hydreigon, which, by the way, dramatic irony here, Kyle has absolutely no intentions of doing so because he's absolutely no idea. The thought didn't even really occur to him that I might be Z Earthquake, especially now, because if I did, I would have done it. So I go for high jump kick, and I miss and die.
And I laughed out loud during the match. Like, I felt bad, but then again, I was like, you selfish asshole, you took a kill away from Toxapex. But no, that's not what I was actually thinking. That's what I thought after the game, but that was also like after I was completely pissed off that my internet decided to cut out. Not just my internet, my entire power just was gone for 2 seconds. So yeah.
What happened after this?
This is where you went right into Jirachi after Blaziken had missed the high jump kick. And because of that, Toxapex is still at 100% health, hasn't even taken a hit yet. And if I had lost Toxapex there, I would have been okay with it because I still had the offensive tools under my arsenal in order to take advantage of the rest of his team. But it would have made it definitely a lot harder. Absolutely. I cannot argue that it would have been much harder for me to win this game if Toxapex had gone down. However, because I am completely in Jim's head for some reason.
What can I say? I'm my own worst enemy.
I forced him to go for high jump kick, expecting my Hydra gun. But, that's, we take those, is what they say. Anyway.
Yeah, especially when it misses.
Yeah, I mean, the miss didn't necessarily matter. However.
No, not at all, but it's just demoralizing.
Yeah, it was just the complete irony, like you said. Anyway, moving on. We have now a Jirachi against a Toxapex right here. So what happens is you go for Heart Stamp, is I go into Victini. Pretty simple play. You wanted to get super effective damage against the Toxapex, and I have Victini here, which is going to be my switch into Jirachi every day of the week.
Yep. Pretty much.
So I go
pretty
into
sure.
Victini.
Yep, pretty sure from there on, I just decide Miltank seems like a good idea.
Yeah, so what happens is you go straight into Miltank is I just go for another V-Create, expecting you to either not be Scarfed, and if you are, you're switching out and, like, you're going into Miltank, or, like, you just overpredict, try and get some flinches against the Victini, and you end up dying. So I was just trying to capitalize off of that. So it is now Victini against Miltank. Miltank is about 30-40% after taking the Scald earlier, and now Spike and a V-Create, and it was thick fat as fuck.
Oh yeah.
So what happens on the next...
Miltank just did not give a shit.
Absolutely
about
not.
V-Create. No fucks.
Yeah, so what happened on the next play is you have the Choppleberry. I'm at -1 speed, so you're actually going to be able to outspeed me. You go for the Milk Drink, as I click Focus Blast and Connect, pop your Choppleberry.
Which was pretty ideal.
Yep.
Can't deny that. Hey, that's pretty good. And then the next turn, this is where things maybe sort of start coming up, Millhouse. I go for the Body Slam. I go for, Miltank goes for the Body Slam. It does about like 30% or something like that.
It did a little bit more, yeah.
35, about that, and then we paralyze the Victini.
And as you paralyze my Victini, I then miss a Focus Blast. So nothing going right on that turn for me, but it's okay.
I also just dabbed in front of the camera.
Jesus.
So. Yeah.
Okay, so I missed the Focus Blast, and he now can just kill me with another Body Slam.
Which I do.
Exactly what happens. So down goes Victini. You're doing great on this season, buddy. 3-3. Doing great. So
fucking Miltank, man. Miltank is just... like,
oh my God.
Really secretly the glue that holds the team together.
Okay, so after that happened, I went into Keldeo to pick off the Miltank. So you just decided to sack it because you don't have a Scald switch in, and I just went for Scald, and
Miltank kind of just it did most of what it needed to do, but since the Victini was dead, I didn't even really need to get rocks up. So
yep,
Miltank kind of it did its job.
Okay, so what happens next is you switch into your Jirachi again, because I know that you're Scarfed and, like, that's just your best thing to do. So I'm in with Keldeo. Let's get that on the right thing. So what you expect to do, or expect me to do, is switch out. So you click the U-turn.
Go for U-turn.
Exactly. As I have switched into Klefki, and you turned into your Zygarde.
Like a man.
And now it is a full health Zygarde against a Klefki. And this is scary for me. Not super scary, though, because I do have my full health Serena in the back, which can force him to go for Outrage in order to kill me, so I'm okay with that. But, again, it is still scary. So I'm just going to sit in here with Klefki. It already got up rocks. I don't really have much... Yeah, that's what I meant. I don't have much else use for this Klefki. I have seen now that the Zygarde is leftovers because of the spike that I got up.
Yep.
So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go for Dazzling Gleam.
Yep, no reason not to.
Yep, gauge what kind of damage he is. If he clicks 1,000 Arrows, I go into Serena, and then I can play rough and 2-hit KO it from where it's at. Absolutely from where it is at. And if he Dragon Dances, then I will get off free damage against it, and I still have Serena to force him to go for Outrage. So that is going to be what happens. I go for Dazzle as you go for Dragon Dance.
DD.
Yep.
I don't remember. I don't remember specifically how much Dazzling did, but it did do a good amount because Light Screen was obviously gone ages ago, and unfortunately, because Sylveon's dead, I never really had the opportunity to get the screen back up, so I could set up in front of the Clef Key because that was kind of like the best set of fodder I had, provided the screen was up. But we're not. It's not that we're feeling good. We're kind of like at this point, I'm like super mega on tilt and just kind of like as soon as the Blaziken just sort of shot the bed, I kind of just gave up. So I'm kind of just clicking buttons at this point, not lying here, just clicking buttons. So Zygarde gets a DD up and
takes a Dazzling Gleam, which does about 40%. And at that point, I'm like, I need to get out of here as soon as possible. I'm going into Serena, and on that turn, you just went for 1,000 Arrows. Pretty simple play. It's exactly what you should do. And it does about third to Serena. And you can tell by that damage that I'm not Fizz Def. So you can kill me with Outrage, but even if I was Fizz Def, you would kill 1,000 Arrows plus Outrage at +1.
Yep. Which we do.
So yeah, you do go for the Outrage, which I am 100% okay with. I got Serena to do its job. It was in for a turn and it died to Outrage, but it has done its job and it has forced Zygarde.
Yeah, no, it was absolutely the correct play. I mean, I could have like set up another DD, but realistically, that would have been like if you, in hindsight, setting up 2 DDs would have been probably nicer, but really all that would have meant that you would have just gone right back into Keldeo Klefki. You then would have just Dazzling Gleamed me until I was dead. So,
yeah,
whatever.
The turn that you went for Outrage, I had gone for Trop Kick in case you wanted to set up another Dragon Dance, or like if you had gone for Sub, I could still break that. So it would be punishing you for trying to set up. All you would get is speed out of it. Which would mean that Hydreigon wouldn't be able to come in, but it also would have meant that Trop Kick plus another Dazzling Gleam from Klefki would have been able to knock it out. So either way, I was going to come out of that situation all right.
Yeah.
So Trop Kick was better. Didn't want to potentially miss a play rough and get completely fucked for that. So that was 100% my play. And after Serena went down, I went into Hydreigon. I know he's locked into Outrage. Nothing else he can do about it. He dies to a Dragon Pulse. So,
which is fine.
That's what ends up happening.
As I said, like I've totally just mentally checked out of the game at this point.
Yep. And at this point, you go after Zygarde goes down. You go into Jirachi, knowing 100% that I'm Scarf because there's no way that Hydreigon outspeeds a +1 Zygarde.
Yep.
Unless you completely messed up your speed, which you can't really do.
Nope. I didn't.
So you go into your Jirachi, and at this point you just fire off an Iron Head because it does the best against my team, besides the fact that I have a Toxapex.
But at this point I don't really have anything to hit it with anyway, apart from Heart Stamp, which is not really going to be possible because you also have Hydreigon, so as I said, I'm just clicking buttons here, dude.
Yep. So
I don't have EQ on Drapion, and even if I did, it wouldn't have been able to take out your Toxapex, and Drapion really just had nothing for the rest of your team anyway.
Yep.
So I'm like, the game's basically over at this point.
So at this point, you just click Iron Head. As I switched into Klefki expecting a Play Rough because that would have destroyed Hydreigon. But you do click the Iron Head, and I do take it. I take it well enough to where I'm willing to stay in and potentially live a flinch.
We get the flinch.
You get the flinch as I went for Foul Play, which kind of sucked, but also didn't really end up mattering because at that point I just go straight into Toxapex to take another Iron Head.
Yeah.
And at this point I'm just going to sit here and click Liquidation because you can't do anything with your Jirachi to my Toxapex because at the end of the day, at the end of each turn, Iron Head and then Black Sludge Recovery gets me... it's a 2% difference from the turn.
It's basically as if like nothing happened.
Yeah, it literally tickles Toxapex. So you go for the Iron Head, and as I go into Toxapex, I just click Liquidation as you switch into your Drapion. And what I am expecting is a knockoff. So I get off about a quarter of your health with the first liquidation. And expecting the knockoff, I kind of want to keep the Black Sledge on Toxapex, or else I could actually lose to the Jirachi. I go into Hydreigon. Knocking off my Scarf could actually end up helping me out, because then, you know, I could go for Dark Pulse, expecting the Jirachi to come in. So I go into Hydreigon, expecting the knockoff, and that is what you end up going for. So at this point, I just click Dragon Pulse a couple times.
And I just click Poison Jab and, like, you know, yeah, I'm just gonna.
Yeah, you did end up going for knockoff the first turn. The second turn,
Poison Jab.
Poison Jab did poison, which could have mattered.
But we're literally talking like differential here.
Yeah, it just on a different.
That's all I'm doing. Like that's all I'm doing at this point. I'm just sort of trying to save differential, which also I fuck up. We'll get to that now.
So, right here, because my Hydreigon is poisoned, if he had gone for Heart Stamp here, I would have had to sack something off to a Heart Stamp. Because Hydreigon was at a range of health to where it would have 100% died to poison on another switch-in. It wouldn't have taken any damage from Heart Stamp, but from where I was, I couldn't live the poison. So then I would have had to go into Toxapex, hope that he doesn't flinch me, and then just lose the game. So
it is funny to think that, like, if Drapion, if it was like max attack, which we weren't, but we were adamant and like we had like 180 attack. If we were max attack, we just did that little tiny bit more damage to you and then poisoned you, I'd have won.
Yep. I was at like
it would have been complete utter horseshit if I won.
Yeah.
But
you also would have needed flinches, but
oh yeah, of course, but still, like it still would have been like absolute dog shit if that happened. But yeah, unfortunately, at this point, all I could just do at this point is just click Ironhead. I should have clicked. All I could think was like, what's the point? I didn't take the poison damage into consideration because I didn't actually think he'd willingly sack something. I thought he just. I didn't think he'd die that turn after the poison damage, because you know when a Pokemon kills something in the game, it doesn't show the health bar above them after they die, so you don't know what health they're at afterwards. So I don't know. I just kind of I didn't really think. I was just like, just click Ironhead, hit everything. That's all right. We have 20 Ironheads. We're going to take on all 4 of his remaining Mons with just Ironhead. Let's do it, boys. So that's what we do.
And expecting anything but Heart Stamp, I go into my Toxapex. It was mostly expecting a Play Rough, and this is where the game cut out. It went for Ironhead once.
Yep.
Got a flinch.
Yep.
Power died.
Yep.
So
at this point, it's fair to just assume that the Toxapex will just kill the Jirachi. And this is the 4th game out of my 5 that Jirachi's come into a game and it hasn't gotten a single kill. I don't really think that's that upsetting, only because Jirachi's not necessarily... Well, here it was in the team to kill things, but really I kind of just preferred thinking of Jirachi as like the safety net. You know, if I can't beat him, I'll just hack some option. That's what I usually do with him. I just have him in the back. Whereas like Zygarde and Blaze are going to use it, and Miltank are usually just like, you know, my boys. They're the ones who do the work. So we just decided that like we'll just give the last kill to Toxapex, because like everything else would have just died. Not to Ironhead, but if I was going for Heart Stamp, Toxapex got the kill against Jirachi. That's just what would have happened anyway. It is super fortunate for you, the viewers, that you're going to have to watch like 30 minutes of like us just talking shite, which is unfortunate. Yeah. But like we also could have, when we were thinking about like redoing it on Showdown, where we could have tried to replicate the game, but we didn't remember every single turn, although apparently we did. We also wouldn't have been able to replicate that the exact hacks that happened, at least not in an easy way, and neither of us really have that much time on our hands, so rip, I suppose.
Yeah, it was just a very unfortunate series of events that happened, and
yep,
you know, it's how it is. We end up picking up the 4-0 win, which I myself am happy about, but like I'm upset that I'm not going to have a video out for you guys with actual Mons using moves. It's just kind of a text by
And you know what the funny thing is? This was actually the week where I figured out how to get OBS to actually record replays with sound. So I could have, taken the music off and just used the game sounds. And I now have like the videos looking better than they ever have, and can't this week. So that's a fucking bummer. So, also, I got 4-0'd, which also sucks. But that was like, there was no bullshit hacks against me. There was like that. I lost because I didn't play properly at all. Like that was my fault that I lost. And that's really all I have to say on that. But of course, Kyle, it's your video as well, so you can say things.
Well, I mean, I was happy with coming out with what I did, and I felt like after Blaziken went down, I played everything absolutely the way that I should have, and it just ended up turning into kind of a bloodbath, unfortunately for you.
It was, as I said, it was my own fault.
Yeah. So that's gonna be the game. Thanks for watching, guys.
Sorry for my audience. I wasn't really talking that much, but Kyle was the one who actually took down notes. I'm kind of just sitting there going, just being bad. Oh, I give up. I want to die.
Okay, so that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to hit the like button, not only on my video, but also on Jim's video. Give this man some love. I
echo this statement.
I love Jim, and you should too. Jim 2020.
Go check out Kyle. If you want better League content, go check out Kyle's videos.
And
his link will be in the description below.
If you want entertainment, go check out Ryquin. I mean,
yeah, pretty much. I'm not going to disagree with you there.
But if you want...
I'm just not disagreeing with that.
If you want an insanely funny Irishman, go check out Jim, because he's one of my best friends, and, like, he's also underrated. He also, like, he talks shit to you guys about himself, and it's like, don't believe him. He's actually somewhat good.
3-2? Both of us?
Yep.
There you go.
Yep. Actually, we can talk about this now as well. If I had 4-0'd you or more, I moved past you in the standings, and that's exactly what happened. So I moved past you by 1 differential in the standings.
Yeah, I was hoping, like, I wanted to minimize the damage as much as I could. I obviously didn't really think too much about that, and towards the end, I just kind of didn't collect the right move to enable me to get, like, a 3-0 loss. I obviously wish I did, but there you go. But I'm not too bummed out about that because, okay, Kyle got his win, great. I lost 4-0, which sucks, but my thought here is, A, I'm still in positive differential, B, I'm still in like the top 5, and C, for me, the scariest match of the entire season is now over, and there are 6 games left. So the rest of you fuckers are dead. You're so dead. It's only up from here, man. It's only up from here.
So because of that, make sure to go check out Jim. And that'll be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.